Now, the mother, تقول, she says what? أين أنت يا فاطمة? يا فاطمة too. Very simple, right? I think, inshallah, you guys understand. Where are you, Fatima, right? Usually we don't translate the ya, right? We don't have to say in English, where are you, oh Fatima? We can just say, where are you, Fatima, right? That's fine in English. فاطمة تقول, she says, أنا هنا في الحجرة. I am here. هنا, I think we had this word هنا. How do we, هنا is what is هنا? هنا is what? Here, right? How do you say there? It's very easy, similar. How do you say there? It would be هناك. Okay, so memorize these two words together, inshallah. أنا هنا, I am here, في الحجرة. What is حجرة? That's the first word we learn in this book, right? There's another word for حجرة. حجرة بمعنى الغرفة. Am I writing? الغرفة. Which is what? Room. So she's saying that I'm here in the room. Clear, guys? So far, inshallah, I think these are very simple stuffs. تقول تعالي للوضوء. The mother says what? تعالي. What is تعالى? So she's saying تعالي. Come. لي للوضوء. Remember this, we have لي حرف الجر and alif lam. Okay. للوضوء. Come for what? For the wudu. So the mom is calling her to come for the wudu. Fatima, she says, كيف أتوضأ يا والدي? Because the mom is asking to come and she's saying what? How? كيف is how? How? What is أتوضأ? We talked about this verb yesterday and looks like, inshallah, you should be able to understand what is أتوضأ. The present tense, the past tense verbs we said is what? توضأ. توضأ. Okay, this is means that he performed wudu. And the present tense is what? يتوضأ. You see, it's a mouthful, right? يتوضأ. So as soon as you can bring it into present tense and you see, remember I explained to you that this ta belongs to the past tense. So now you see your ya, and how do you say I? This means he is performing wudu or ablution. And then how do you say I am performing ablutions? And this is when you bring your hamza, right? So you say atawadda'u. What do we do for she? What letter do we add? Anybody know what letter? Because only thing we have to honestly change here is this ya. So ya is for yes, good. So ya is for he, okay. Alif, not alif, sorry. Hamza is for I, and ta is for she. And the ta we can use for she or you masculine. So we can say tatawadda'u. When you say tatawadda'u, that means she is performing wudu or you masculine performing wudu. So now she's saying, Fatima, looks like she doesn't know. She's saying, Kaifa, how atawadda'u ya walidi. How do I perform wudu? Oh, my father. So she wants to learn it from the father. The father says, Ta'alay, ma'i. Okay, come. What is ma'i? This word, you have ma'a, and then we have ya of mutakallim. What is ma'a? Ma'a is with, and ya means with, ya means me or my. depends. For example, we studied this one, right? When you have kitab and then you add ya, it is what? Kitabi. That means my book. All right. Yes. So it's the same ya. So here, when you add with this ma, then it means come with me. Ma'i means we. And remember this rule. This ya is very strong. When you add ya, doesn't matter what you have here, you have to put a kasra. We had a tanwin of dhamma, we have to put kasra. Kitabi. We have fatah here, we have to say ma'i. So we have ma'i, with me. Li, li is for lil wudu. Okay, so the father is calling her ta'alai ma'i lil wudu. Now it says, what does it say? It says qama. This is another very good word we have to know. Qama. Qama has many different meanings. Here it means qama al walidu. That means qama means to stand. So this is a past tense. So it would be uh, he stood. Okay, so he stood. So who is he? Al walidu. So we will say the father stood. Okay. Qama al walidu wa qamat Fatimatu. Okay, so look what's happening. We have qama al walidu, the father stood up, is the same verb qama, but we added what? Ta with sukun. Qamat Fatimatu. Then the meanings the Fatima stood up. So remember last time we talked about, I don't know if we said, oh yes guys, I definitely mentioned. Okay, so remember we had the verb sami'a, that means he heard. Then we can add any of this ta with sukun, ta with fatha or kasra or dhamma to give different pronouns. So when we say sami'at, ta with sukun, it means she. Okay, so that's and as you can see, you can do with other uh, haraka as well. So when you add, this is only for past tense verbs. Okay, when you add a ta with sukun at the end of the past tense verb, you are referring what? A she, like female, right? So comma is he stood, comma is she stood. So obviously the she here means Fatima, right? So you will say, you're not going to say she stood Fatima, you will say Fatima stood. Okay, so but the reference is that this verb is for what? For female person. So you cannot say qama Fatima. That's the point. Although you know that to stand is qama, you cannot say that. Vice versa, you cannot say qamat al walidu because the father is masculine. Okay, so keep those genders in your mind. Lil wudu. Okay, so basically the father stood and the Fatima stood for the wudu. Now, bada'a. Here's another very important verb. Remember what I said? This book from now on, they will be giving you a lot of verbs. That's what we need. We need lots of verbs. So please, please memorize them. Bada'a means to start. Uh, every time I write a definition with to, you have to know that I'm just giving you the meaning, the action. I'm only telling you the action of the verb. I'm not giving you what? I'm not giving you the tense. I'm not also giving you the subject pronoun. Because in Arabic language, remember I mentioned in last lessons that the verb also has tense. Of course, all verb needs to have tense. It also has what? The subject pronoun. So what is the tense and subject pronoun here? It is past tense. One way to recognize, anytime you see three letter verbs, you have three letters, and the last one has a fatha, by and large, it will be a past tense. Okay, three, and the last one is fatha. Okay, so this is a past tense. Bada'a. So It means he started. Okay. Yes, huwa. So here the in the past tense, but it is third person. So it would be he started. But again, we have the subject, we have the doer, so we don't have to say he. If we didn't have this one, then we would say bada'a started what? What's going on? Bada'a al wudu. Okay, so he started the wudu. But we have here uh, the doer, so we will say the father started al wudu. Now, these are from our old topics. We mentioned this few times. The Dhamma represents what? The subject. Okay? Subject. What does the Fatha represent? Huh? Who can tell me? It represents what? Object. Okay? So now we have the Fatha on wudu. Yes, in Arabic we'd call maf'ul bihi. Okay? Maf'ul bihi. So in Arabic this will be called fa'il and this will be maf'ul bihi. In this book, we are not too much focused right now with the grammar terms, but inshallah, the book will give you all these terms, inshallah. So what does it mean? It means the father started and the object of the bada'a, what did he start? We have to tell you what did he start. He started performing wudu. Okay, now here more verbs. Ghasala, see same thing. We have three letters and the last one has a fatha. So you have to assume that this is what? This is a past tense verb. Ghasala is what? Should know. Ghasala is he washed. Ghasala is to wash. What did he wash? Ghasala yadayhi. Okay. What is yad? Huh? What is yad? Yadun? Two. What is yad? Yad is hand. Okay. How do we say two hands? Yadani. We've done this thing in this book, right? Remember, anytime the dual in Arabic is very simple. All we have to do is add alif and nun. Yadani. Okay. So I don't actually remember how much we talked about this concept because this form is a little bit difficult to explain. But let me see. I'll just explain what's happening here. Yad is one hand, but yadayhi. How would you say his hand? His one hand. You will say, huh? Yaduhu. Or uh, if it's in the fatha form, you will say yadahu. So that would mean his one hand. Same thing like you say kitabuhu, okay, or kitabahu. It's the same thing. We've done this thing before, right? So here, this ya, inshallah, I'll explain to you. I just don't know if the book's can explain or not. But here, just think about that. It is talking about his two hands. Okay, inshallah, I think I'll come here and explain to you. This ha is for his, right? We know this one. So you can say his two what two hands. But you should know what is yad means, and you should know what is who refers to. Kitabuhu, qalamuhu, baituhu. Okay, all of this who is for his. I think we have studied them before. Only issue is this year. Inshallah, let's see if we have this topic here, then I'll explain. But right now, just understand, ghasala yadayhi, that means he washed his two hands. Okay, so he's giving you example or he's giving instruction how to perform wudu. Then we have what? Tamadmada. What tamadmada? Okay, tamadmada is to rinse your mouth. When you make wudu, you rinse your mouth. Okay, so that's what it means to rinse. Okay, tamadmada, yatamadmada, yatamadmadu, to rinse. Okay, so this is to rinse your mouth. Then we have wastan shaka. Okay, so istan shaka is what our mouth and put water in our nose. So this is what it means here. Okay, so again, these two words just memorize. It's good words. We don't use these are not that used often, but I think they're good to know. So istan shaka means uh, to run through water in your nose. Clear? Now, wa and then what? Wa ghasala wajhahu, and he did what? What is wajh? Huh? What is wajh? Uh, wajhun. Wajhun is face. Yes, wajhun is face. So how do you say his face? We say what? Wajhuhu. Okay, we say wajhuhu, his face. See, this ha is from the wajh, and then we add the same ha that we are adding here and there. Okay, who? His face. But we are saying wajhahu. Why? Who can tell me why we're saying wajhahu? Hmm? You have to. Yes, it is object. Very nice. It is object. If you say maf'ul, you have to say maf'ul bihi. Okay, it is object of what? The verb ghasala. Now, wa and ghasala, again, see this verb is coming. So these verbs are very important. Okay, wa ghasala yadayhi, same thing. His two hands, two hands. Okay, wa ghasala yadayhi ilal mirfaqain. Okay, so looks like we have to discuss about this issue. He washed his two hands. Ila is up to. So mirfaq, what is mirfaq? Huh? Mirfaq is your elbow. Okay, your elbow. Now, in this book, we studied how to say we have, you're washing your hands, right? You're washing your hands, and we have to wash two hands, so we have to wash two mirfaq. So how do we say two in Arabic? Very simple, right? Alif and Nun, mirfaqani. Can get easier than that. Any word, any word you say, you add alif and Nun, and you say mirfaqani. Okay, but sometimes you can also say mirfaqaini. Okay, so you say mirfaqaini. Be careful how you spell it. Let me see, mirfaqaini. Okay, so this is also two, but when this would be in a case when the word is object or it is in the mudaf ilay form. Basically, when you're supposed to put kasra, because as you can see here, you can put kasra because you can say mirfaq, you can say mirfaqin. You can easily put kasra, mirfaq, mirfaqin, or mirfaq, mirfaqan. Very easy. Okay, so this word we don't have any problem. We can add fatha, kasra, dhamma whenever we want. But as soon as we make it into dual, we have a little bit issue, because as you can see, the dual, it always have this kasra here, mirfaqani. Even though you want to make it into a subject, as we know the subject takes a dhamma, this also always has a kasra. So this form is your default form, meaning the dhamma form. So whenever you want to put in a object form, you use, because you cannot put kasra here, that's not going to work. This word you have to change from ani to aini sound. Okay, mirfaqani, mirfaqaini, kitabani, kitabaini. Okay, so the concept is not that difficult, inshallah. Let's see if these things comes back or not. Okay, so that's what's happening. We have mirfaq, and we're adding mirfaqaini because we're saying two elbows. But why we're saying qaini, not mirfaqani? Because of ila. What happens after ila, guys? After ila, we are supposed to put kasra. Okay, so that's why we have to use this thing. Yes, we have to make it majrur. Now, understand? Same thing is happening here. At the end, inshallah, I'm going to explain. We this year is coming for that year. Inshallah, I'll explain about that one a little bit later. Now, okay, so this is clear. So, غسل يديه إلى مرفقين. He washed his two hands. Again, depends on how you translate. Ila, do you say up to or including what? Two elbows. Okay. Most of the opinion is that you include the elbow, but there are some understanding. Again, I told you that ila is very tricky in terms of how people understand. Some people think that it doesn't include uh, the thing that you're going up to. Jayid. Now we have again another verbs. MashaAllah, these books are giving us, this lesson are giving us a lot of verbs. I'm very happy. So masaha, masaha. This is also a word that we hear and it's in the Quran. Most of these words are in the Quran. This is ghasala, all of the most of the words are in Quran. So masaha is what? Is to wipe. Wipe. Okay. So ghasala is to wash, masaha is to wipe. So he wiped. What did he wipe? He wiped ra'sahu. So what is ra's? Ra'sun? Huh? What is ra'sun? Is head. Okay, yes. Ra'sun is head. So he, again, why do we have a fatha here? Because it's object. He washed what? He washed his head. So ra'suhu would be his head. Ra'suhu, his head. We can say your head. Ra'suka. Okay, your head. So here saying his head. So he wiped his head. Uh, but we have to put a fatha here because of the object. Okay, clear, guys? Wa masaha udhunayhi. So looks like I do have to explain because these things are coming. J. So basically what happens, for example, we have yad. Yadun is hand, a hand, right? Clear, guys? How do we say two hands? I just explained, you add alif and nun. So we say yadani, right? But this is the default form, meaning this is your, you can think of this is the Dhamma form, right? Because I don't think this book are talking too much about grammar concept. But when you are putting this word in a what? In an object form, I just explained to you, you have to say, you have to, instead of adding alif and nun, you have to add what? Ya and nun. So you say, ya daini. Clear? Same thing, mirfaqaini. And you can do this thing with any noun. Okay. Qalamaini, kitabaini, rajulaini, baitaini. Okay. Any word when you're putting this word as a mudaf ilay, or you're putting as after prepositions. Anytime you want to put after preposition or after, or when this object, when this word is in object form, then you have to add ya and nun. So now you want to say two hands. I washed. You want to say ghasala. Ghasala, he washed his two hands. Now, we have two options. I want to say, uh, first of all, let's just say which one you're going to put. He washed two hands. The first one or the second one. If you want to say he washed two hands, let's just say we're not talking about whose hand. He washed two hands. Yes, he washed two hands. So we are going to choose this one. Why? Because this is what? This is object. Okay. So now we have to add This one, yadaini. But now we want to say, I'm just breaking things down so that, it's a little bit easy for you, or at least you understand what's going on. Then you want to say his two hands. We just learned how to say his, uh, we just add ha, right? How do we say his? We add ha, right? Kita, kita buhu. So technically it should be what? It should be, if we want to say his two hands, we have to say what? Yadainihi. Wait. Yadainihi. Why am I putting kasra? Because remember, this ha, if there is a kasra before it, it always get the kasra. For example, here we have kitabuhu, but if you say fi, then you say kita bi, you also have to change the ha, kitabihi. So this is something we should have had, right? We should have what? Yadainihi. That means his two hands. But is that what we have here? We have yadaihi. What happened to our noon? The noon is missing. So this is the concept you have to understand, that when you add any possession or any mudaf ilay, this is a technical, that's why I was hesitant on explaining. This is that just only thing I will explain right now without going too much in details. When you're adding in anything after this form, both of these two forms, like either mudaf ilay, because this ha is mudaf ilay, okay, or you are adding any pronouns, this noon will be removed. Okay, you cannot have this noon. That's what's going on. It's a little bit complicated for this stage, so I didn't want to explain too much, but just understand this is the same thing as yadaini. If you understand this much, I think you're fine. If it's same thing as yadaini, okay, and we have who for his two hands, yadaini is two hands, and then you have to drop this one when you add any of the possessive pronouns. Yes, this is a nun Arab. And these are the things that I don't want to discuss in this class, because the way that this book is right now, we don't go in too much details in terms of grammatical perspective. All the grammars you want to know about this noon, inshallah, we will be studying them very, very in details in the Ajurumiyya class, inshallah. Okay. So I want to leave the way the book is teaching. I don't want to explain too much more than we need to do. Okay, so just understand that's what's happening. So same thing going on here. So we have two udun. Udun is, what is udun? Udunun is ear, right? One ear. So how do we say two ears? Udunani. This much is very simple, guys. But it is masaha. That means it's going to be in an object form. So we have to say udu naini, this form. But now we want to say his two ears. So we have to add this ha, and then we have to drop this noon. Guys, I don't worry too much about these things. Inshallah, they will come. They will come, but right now, whatever you understood, that's fine. Remember, only thing know that udunaihi, it means two, his two ears. So he washed his two ears. SubhanAllah, these things keep on coming. Okay. So bottom line is that the noon that we have of aini, we have to drop when we're adding any pronouns. To make it easy, just think about after adding any pronoun, the possessive pronouns, you have to drop that noon. That's what's happening. Okay, here, summa is then. Then what? Ghasala, then he washed. Rijlaihi, same thing. What is rijl? These words, guy, all of these things, these words also in the Quran, everything is, you guys have to memorize. Rijlun is leg. Okay, so two leg is rijlani. Okay, but now you want to use this word in object, so you have to say rijlaini. Now you want to put a possessive pronoun, so what you have to do, you have to drop this tone, rijlaihi. Make sense, guys? It's math, very simple stuff. Now, although to be honest with you, these things are a little bit difficult. That's why in the beginning it's always better to depends on how much you're understanding. If you're not understanding, then it's just think about rijlaihi means his two legs. So he washed what? His two legs. His two legs. Now here we have ila again. Ila what? Ka'bain. Up to what? Ankle. Ka'b. uh, Ka'bun is ankle. Okay. And again, why do we have Ka'baini? Two ankles is Ka'bani, but we have ila, so we have to put after ila we cannot have this form. We have to have this form. Ka'baini. Okay. Makes sense, guys? So it looks like we're having a lot of dual forms. So this is nice. Inshallah, I think in the exercise section they might have more things about the duals. Let's finish this line. Then we have atamma. Atamma is to complete. Atamma, he completed or concluded. Completed. So the father completed what? Al wudu. He completed the ablution. Wa ta'allamat. Ta'allamat. There's a shadda here. Ta'allamat. What is ta'allama? Ta'allama is what? Ta'allama is he learned. Ta'allama is he learned. So why do we have ta here? Because she learned. Who? The Fatima. So ta'allamat Fatima. Al-wudu'a minal walidi. So he's saying the father completed atamma al-walidu al-wudu'a. The father completed the wudu. Wa ta'allamat Fatimatu al-wudu'a minal walidi. And the Fatima learned the wudu from the father. Okay, so I think we have to stop here, inshallah.